Hi everybody, Dan Illman here with the DRF race of the day for Tuesday, May the 31st. It's race number 7 on opening day at Assiniboia Downs, and it is the anchor leg of the Dollar Pick 4, which has a $25,000 guaranteed pool. Let's take a look at this field. Remember to click the QR code on the bottom of this screen for race of the day access on your mobile devices. You can download free formulator past performances for this race on the race of the day event page at drf.com. Take a peek, handicap along with me, and then play this race on this nice card with your DRF Bets account. Lots of exciting things going on at Assiniboia Downs. Win wagering takeout reduced by 4% to 14.95%. Trifecta, superfecta, jackpot high 5 pick 3, their takeouts reduced by 2%. Exacta double quinella and the jackpot pick 5, those takeouts reduced by 1%. The players portal is where you want to go for more information at asdowns.com. You get interactive handicapping information, picks, and lots more. This is a really fun race. Some hard-hitting horses with legitimate stakes credentials, and we'll throw up the Timeform US pace projector to take a peek and see who might be a pace protagonist. The number 5 Market King's cutting back in distance. He's got a little bit of speed, but I kind of agree with Timeform US. Even in a 5/8 of a mile dash, it looks like this race might favor horses on or near the early lead. The 3 Wake Up Call, coming off a pace-pressing victory at Turf Paradise, that horse has speed, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if Wake Up Call is close to the pace and close to the rail when the real running begins on Tuesday evening. Of course, we have a scratch in this race. The number 12, Eddie Forever, will not compete. Let's start things off talking about the number 1 in this race, and this is an extremely likable horse. This is Plentiful, who has won 11 times in his career, and he has won 9 stakes races over this surface. Now, don't be upset about his recent running lines. They look woeful, but they're woeful almost every year when he winters at tracks like Oaklawn Park. He just doesn't step as well over those surfaces as he does when he returns home. He has 10 wins over this track again. His most recent race, he was in very tough at Oaklawn. Hunka Burnin' Love, the winner of that race, came back to run second with a $40,000 starter allowance and an 87 buyer, second in a 62,500 claimer in his very next race with an 82 buyer. He was facing tough competition. He gets back here. He thinks he's going to run very well. 5/8 might be a little bit sharp for him. You always have to wonder as an older horse if he's starting to lose a little bit of his edge. He's 8 years old right now, but Plentiful likes this surface. He's 5-1 on the morning line. It's a fair price. The question is, can he stay close to what is expected to be a moderate pace up front? He seems like a horse that does his best running from the back of the pack. The number 2 in here is Tap Master, and Tap Master has some recency. He ran at Century Mile last time out in a non-winners of 4 life optional claiming event, and he ran evenly. The good news is he showed some speed that day, and speed is at a premium in this race. Tap Master seems very comfortable at the shortened 5/8 distance, and the horse that ran third directly ahead of him last time out came back to run third again when entered for about 22,000 at Century Mile and earned a 64 buyer. Does he need a buyer boost? Absolutely. He's going to be stepping way up in class against some salty runners. The 3 is Wake Up Call, who's going to be running over this track for the first time, but Wake Up Call's been a very solid Arizona bred, and those horses are known for speed, and Wake Up Call showed speed in the race we're going to show you right now. His most recent start at Turf Paradise, going 5/8 on March 28th. Now, he only faced 2 other rivals in this race, but he was embroiled in a speed duel with the runner-up, the backclasser Captain Scotty, a one-time graded stakes winner who's likely in the autumn of his career. Captain Scotty would come back to run third in a $10,000 race with a 73 buyer, but Wake Up Call was very game in the stretch after being confronted by Captain Scotty. It looked like he was getting away from that horse in the lane. He shows a bullet workout over this surface on May the 8th, and he does have tactical speed. He's won from off the pace. He's also won from on it, and I think he's going to be very aggressively handled leaving the stalls. The number 4, Life Been Good So Far, 5 for 38 lifetime, but this horse has done some good things over this surface in the past. He won the Royal Frolic here in 2019. In his races off the claim, he's run with varying amounts of success. Couple of allowance placings. Last time out at Turf Paradise, he was no match for Something Super, who's also in this race. That race was at 6.5. You could probably draw a line through the prior races on turf. This is a horse, if you go back, has some races, has some Beyer speed figures that make him competitive. I do wonder in his second start, off of a bit of a layoff, about a 5-month layoff, if he wants to go a little further down the road. But it's worth noting that Royal Frolic win way back came going 5.5 furlongs. One of the more fascinating horses in this race is a stranger to the circuit, and that's the number 5 Market King, who began his career for trainer D. Wayne Lucas and actually ran third in the Grade 2 Rebel in 2019 and then performed in that year's Preakness Stakes. Well, things haven't exactly went according to plan. He was eventually claimed for 30, then he was eventually claimed for 8,500. His last couple of races are pretty good, however. He ran at Turf Paradise last time out, going a 2-turn mile. The third place horse in that race is an 18-time winner, I believe. Came back to run third with a 61 Beyer, then won a beaten claimer at Canterbury with a 62. Market King probably a little bit more effective at longer distances, but from a class standpoint, a back class standpoint, to be sure, fits well with these horses. 4-1 to me seems a little bit light on the tote. I would want a bit more. Mr. Dazzle is the number 6, and this horse has done very good work in his career. He won the Graduation as a 2-year-old back in 2018. He won a stakes race here in 2020. His most recent start was back in October, however, when he was entered for a tag in an optional claiming race. He finished 4th that day. It's been a long time between drinks. It's about a year since his most recent victory, and there were a lot of second place finishes on his record. Again, he does have the back class, he does have back Beyers. He needs a little bit of a Beyer boost from his recent starts if he's going to contend on the win end. Something Super is up next, and Something Super is a useful horse. He was 6th last time out at Turf Paradise, so he's been racing through the winter. You don't have to worry about a layoff line with him, and he's got some back class as well. He was actually second in the Clever Trevor Stakes at Remington all the way back as a 2-year-old, and 4 starts back here at a 71 Beyer speed figure going 6.5. Now 5 furlongs is well within his scope. My concern again is his running style. He seems to like to come from out of it. 5 furlongs is sharp. The pace projector believes there won't be a ton of gas to set up a closer like Something Super. I think he runs on late, maybe into the Super. The 8 is St. Louis Guy, and St. Louis Guy also has races this year in the United States. Fonner Park most recently in the Dowd Mile, where he was just beaten by an odds-on favorite that ran away and hid from the field. But how can you knock a horse that's earned $336,000 in his career and has done very well at this short distance in the past? I think the mile in the Dowd was a little bit long for him, and just consider, this is another horse that a lot of times winters in the States, runs okay, comes back up here and makes hay. Last year, that's exactly what happened. He came up from Lone Star following a 3rd place finish. He won 3 stakes races here in a row, then was second in the Manitoba Mile. I have a feeling St. Louis Guy at 10-1 on the morning line is ready for a wake-up, and he did win a stake going 5/8 last year. He does have tactical sprint speed, and I think he's going to show a little bit of it in this race. Flash of Glory's up next. We'll watch his most recent start. This is way back on September the 5th. It was a 1-mile event, and he kind of just fell behind in the early portion of this race. He's going to get up for 3rd late. I like the fact that he showed some late interest. He won the Manitoba Derby Trial in 2021, so he does have races, but he's a horse turning back in distance, and I wonder if this is just a prep race for something longer down the road. I believe 5/8 just might be a little bit sharp for this son of point of entry. Warriors Map, the number 10, finished 2nd in the aforementioned Dowd Mile, and I thought he ran a very good race that day. The winner got loose on the lead. That horse was odds on. Warriors Map tried to win the race with a strong mid-race move on the back stretch. He was put to a very hard chase going after that winner into the turn, and he was game to hold off second from a rail-skimming rallier. He bounced out of that race with a 3rd place finish at Lone Star. The winner of that race came back to run 3rd in an allowance race with a 70 Beyer speed figure, and it seems that Warriors Map runs nothing but fast and competitive races. He hasn't run a Beyer speed figure less than 70 since March of 2021. From a figure standpoint, he fits in this race. How does he fit from a distance standpoint? All of his good races apparently have come around a distance of ground. He's starting here at 5/8 of a mile. If he gets outrun early, he might have too much to do late. He's 3-1 on the morning line. He's a contender to be sure. It just seems like that price is a bit short. And with Eddie Forever, the 12 being scratched, the 11 Real Grace completes this field, and Real Grace brings some class to the party. This horse won the Canadian Derby in 2020. That's a grade 3 race, but it's also a grade 3 race at 1.25 miles. He hasn't run in 5.5 months. I wonder if this is a starting off point for something longer. He does have 4 wins over this surface, and last time we saw him going 7/8 of a mile, he ran into a pretty good field, and the race 2 starts back. He just draw a line through that going 1 1/8 when he was the beaten favorite by Plentiful because he didn't get out of the gate. He has shown speed in the past, now albeit speed going at longer distances. Very early in his career he ran well at short sprints. Personally, I think at this point in his career he wants to go just a bit longer. Before we get to my top selection for this race, please click the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for all the latest DRFTV offerings. We go to my top picks. I think speed again at a premium in this race. Wake Up Call showed speed last time out. He turned back a back classer in the stretch, and I think he's going to be right in the thick of things when they turn for home. Like the bullet workout over the track, shows that he might have a bit of an affinity for this surface. But this is a wide open race full of classy horses, and it's the anchor leg of the dollar pick 4 with a $25,000 guaranteed pool. Best of luck.